One of the things that I think is remarkable, and I think we're going to see it play out again, regardless of the issue, there used to be this thing called the HalfSturt Rule in the House, and that is when Denny HalfSturt was Speaker of the House, Republican Speaker of the House, he would not bring legislation to the House floor, unless it had a majority support of the Republican caucus. Well, John Boehner violated that in part at the end of the year regarding the fiscal cliff negotiations, but Republicans again are determined to not bring things to the House floor that don't have majority support of the Republicans, and that gets to the biggest problem, Mitch Mulaski, I think, in terms of the politics, that even if Democrats are able to get, the 60 votes, a couple Republican senators to pass this legislation in the U.S. Senate, if John Boehner and majority Republicans decide, you know what, no, we're going to stop this, John Boehner, there are all sorts of ways that he can even stop them from even having a vote. There are all kinds of issues in the U.S. House that are languishing there that have already passed the U.S. Senate just because Republicans don't want to bring them up for an up or down vote.
Certainly, yeah, and this is, that is the obstacle. No matter I think what the bill is or what the issue is that we want to pass right now. It's can we get John Boehner to bring those issues to the floor? And I think a lot of that is going to come down to external pressure as well as internal pressure. It's about the groundswell of individuals and people who say, look, you have to do something about this now. No more sort of pushing this off, putting this down the road, not dealing with it. It's going to come from their constituents saying, look, we elected you, now go out and do what we're telling you, not what seems to be politically advantageous or would fit to the extremes of your party.
This show obviously is not only about reminding people what's going on in the world of news and politics and government, but also what you can do to take action. And one of the things that you can do is you can go to our website, takeactionnews.com, and there is a tool called PopVox. And PopVox is simply a widget that allows you to register with your member of Congress. Members of Congress particularly like to hear from constituents. And the way that they used to do that was simply to check the area code of where you were calling. So if you called a congressional office, they check the area code and determine, okay, is this a constituent or not? Well, what PopVox does is it enables you to sort of do that in a similar process. And what PopVox does for members of Congress is it will collect and collate the information so that if, say, 65% of constituents of any one congressional district reach out to their member of Congress through PopVox and take a particular position on an issue, it registers both publicly on the website but also with members of Congress. And it lists all of these issues by their bill number. So, for example, Senator Dianne Feinstein has reintroduced a ban on assault weapons. There have been probably 7 or 8 other proposals that now have bill numbers both in the House and the Senate. There's going to be an official one that will be introduced, of course, on behalf of the administration that will be sponsored by other members of Congress. But in any case, as this winds its way through both the House and the Senate, there are specific bill numbers that will be assigned, and each of these, including the language of the bill, will be posted through this PopVox widget on Take Action News. So by signing up with PopVox on Take Action News, you have an opportunity to make sure that your voice is heard, and also you can see the data. You can see how the issues are cutting by congressional district or by state or even nationally. It's an amazing tool to look at all the information, to look at the analytics, to see what the demographics are of people who are participating in this debate. And from members of Congress and also their staffs, they're telling us now that PopVox is perhaps the most effective way to influence a member of Congress. It used to be phone calls or emails or letters. Now, because of the way PopVox breaks down the information and provides analytics and provides demographic data both publicly on the website but also to members of Congress know how issues are breaking and how they're developing among their constituents. So go to our website, takeactionnews.com, use the PopVox widget on all these issues about gun control, and regardless of what your point of view, and there's going to be legislation introduced to block gun control or to legalize or to continue the legalization of private sellers at gun shows and whatnot. So regardless of your point of view, but just make sure your voice is heard, because it does have an influence, particularly on an issue like this, where I guarantee a lot of members of Congress aren't exactly sure necessarily how they're going to vote and are looking up to look at public opinion and public sentiment, particularly among their own constituents. And by the way, coming up, we're going to talk a little bit later about the conservative media and their role in all of this. There have been a lot of pretty harsh things that have been out there as far as Republican conservative media describing President Obama's efforts to take away guns as if he's taking away guns, as analogous to Stalin or Hitler or Hugo Chavez. We'll talk about that and what the conservative media is really up to. But up next, we'll get the latest from Dave Zirin. There was a major labor dispute that was resolved in the world of sports over the past week. We'll talk with Dave Zirin about that next when Take Action News continues.